Hey, Jasmine.
Yes, Nigel.
The Leaning Tower of Pisa and the Tower of Big Ben were thinking of starting a family, but they called it off. You know why?
No.
One didn't have the time, and the other didn't have the inclination.
What is knob polishing?
You're going to make me say this? I am a neglected man.
I like to think that I look like a jack, even though my name's really Bob.
Does he have danglers or something?
Well, it's time to go do them lighthouse duties.
Sitting in the cheese at the old Walmart to cool off.
That should be the headline. Man tasered in the nuts after stealing beef.
Yeah, but you're not going to sit in the cheese. You're not going to sit in the cheese, and you're not going to put ribeyes down your pants either.
House cleaning is secondary. So what is the Viagra triangle?
Possibly we aid in your digestion.
I don't know if his little hand is smaller than his little ears or what.
Aw, well, maybe he has a syndrome.
Want to go check out my RV? It's parked right around the corner. Because I'm pretty sure that I saw some moose knuckle.
No.
There is absolutely some moose knuckle going on.
My swampy friend. What the hell is a swampy friend?
I know. So they're not going to get any scraping on their shaft.
Yes, I'm gonna do a downward dog.
Okay, pretty lady. You had on those gosh darn sexy leather looking shorts.
Ladies and gentlemen, and assholes, gather round. It's time for another action-packed episode of
Hi, I'm Nigel Kent.
And I'm Jazmine Starr.
And welcome to Trouble in Paradise.
Where we talk about everything amazing, awkward, auspicious, and sometimes even ass-tastic here in Southwest Florida.
And boy, do we have a treasure trove of that last section of things, the ass-tastic stuff.
I think we do.
This evening here in Paradise. We are coming at you from Bonita Springs, Florida, which everybody from Bonita Springs also refers to as Paradise. And we have some very paradisian things to discuss this evening, including our 3 things that we miss most about not being in quarantine. One of mine is the actual definition of quarantine, which is keeping sick people away. Then we're going to talk about quarantine dating. And of course, you had an opportunity to catch up with my little brother.
I did have an opportunity.
Mr. TJ Wall.
Yes.
And you did an interview with him about his book.
I did do.
So we'll get that cut into tonight's program. And that's an adventure story, I guess. I like making fun of him about it, but we'll see what information you came up with.
Yeah.
And we also have a crazy Florida woman story about a very brave Florida woman who dared to stand up to a driver over there in Miami. But first, don't you want to talk about your quarantine playlist a little bit?
Oh, Lord. I hope that we're almost at the end of the quarantine playlist. I really do.
I
The
do
beaches
too.
have opened up. We did get to enjoy a nice sunset where everybody was definitely not social distancing. So hopefully, gosh,
Yeah,
that
so
we're
let's-
finally on the way, and we won't need this darn playlist anymore.
That was the opposite of social distancing.
Absolutely, but I loved it. It
So
felt
we
like
went to
real
Vanderbilt
life.
Beach last night, and there was about 8 cops and 9,000 people.
It was wonderful.
Yeah.
It was great. And, I think everybody just kind of had the same feeling. It's like a little bit of normalcy.
Yeah.
Finally, a little bit of normalcy, and it felt good. So hopefully we won't be torturing people with our sad and lonely songs on our quarantine playlist. But nevertheless, I do have mine.
Oh, well, I'm anxious to hear yours because I want to see if we are on the same wavelength again.
I don't know that we are.
Okay.
So,
Well, what do you got?
All right. So here's mine.
What's that remind me of? Kind of sounds like, oh man, what's the girl that did the song called Fast Car?
Ooh.
No?
Tracy Chapman.
Tracy Chapman, yeah. Am I anywhere in the neighborhood there?
You are correct with Tracy Chapman, The Rape of the World.
The Rape of the World.
Yes, because I kind of feel like, when I listen to the lyrics of it, I'm like, I feel like a lot of stuff has been taken from people.
Yeah.
I was like maybe a little bit of a dark mood whenever I chose that song, but I just,
You mean a half an hour ago? You were in a dark mood?
well, yeah,
And you're out of your dark mood now, right?
of course I am. I'm
Okay.
sitting with the incredible Nigel Kent in our little spot.
The
So,
incredible Mr. Incredible Nigel.
but you were so spot on, Nigel, the last time I did my playlist. So, what can you tell me about Tracy Chapman?
Well, she's a wonderful individual. I can tell you that I really do not know very much about her, but I know that she has 2 songs that I've used to perform when I was a professional musician.
Where was she from, Nigel?
She's an American singer-songwriter
Where was she born?
in America.
In Cleveland.
Yes.
She is a native to Cleveland, and
Yes.
she's a 4-time Grammy-winning artist.
Come on, let's not overhype the Cleveland thing. Okay.
Why? You're wearing a hat for criminy sake.
Cleveland, Ohio, also known as the greatest city in the world.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know.
I
Look
like
at us
Naples.
in beautiful Bonita Springs.
Yeah, well, we live in
Paradise.
Paradisian Southwest Florida, where
know what,
everything is
though?
perfect.
But they wouldn't have seen that sunset that we got to see last night. So
That's true.
gratitude there.
Although there are some pretty good sunsets over Lake Erie certain times of the year.
Oh, I've never gotten to experience that, but maybe someday.
It's not the same, though, because you see a sunset over the Gulf of Mexico, and it's mind-blowing compared to what you see.
I don't know.
Looking over Cleveland.
I've got some Midwestern roots and can appreciate
My roots are mostly gray.
Yeah, that's funny. Anyway, moving on. What's your...
So my quarantine playlist song is a song by a band that when I was a kid, one of my neighbor's dads was a member of this band and a singer in this band. Yep, the Four Tops. I'll be there. Reach out. I'll be there. One of my real favorite Motown songs.
I like it.
Yeah.
One
and
of the things, though, that I did see a common thread with between my awesomely down song,
Raping of the World.
The Raping of the World, was the happiness or the confusion, like happiness is an illusion in the lyric there in your song. And so not obviously yours is much happier than mine, but
I guess they're in Detroit. They're in the same page as they are in Cleveland lyrically, and decades apart too. But,
yeah.
yep. How about those Four Tops though, huh?
How can you beat the Four Tops?
I could listen to them all day long. I might
Wow.
seriously just listen to Motown all day long. It's good stuff.
Guess what? If you do, I'll be there.
So, what are the things that you missed most about not being in quarantine?
Oh my God. Okay. Number one, I miss eating out and like going out to restaurants and
What's different about going out to restaurants versus eating in your house?
okay.
I mean, that's such an obvious
won't-
question, but
I don't-
why do you love it so much?
I don't want to name. Okay, there's 2 reasons. Okay, so beef number 1, since this happened.
Speaking of beef,
Well, we'll get to that one. That's beef number 2. Beef number 1, and I don't want to call out the delivery company that I am accustomed to using here.
negative sponsorship.
Exactly. I'm not going to go there, but the delivery company. No,
DoorDash.
just relax.
Uber Eats.
You know what? It's
It's one of those 3. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, your typical ones that come and deliver. Cállate. Anyway,
Douche.
I'll own that. But I've had some issues, which you're well aware of.
With food delivery?
I would say at least 60, conservatively, to 70% of my orders in one way or another have just gotten messed up.
When you're doing food delivery service.
Any delivery service, like I was a big fan of like doing some of the grocery delivery. I had to quit doing that. I did have a blessing in disguise in which the company did double my order,
Doubled your grocery order, which
as
resulted in you having a surplus of toilet paper,
and many other items that were filled with preservatives and junk food for my kids to eat. But as a single mama, they tear through that stuff. So I didn't have to.
So your grocery order got screwed up. Your restaurant orders screwed up.
But I mean, a grocery order, when you're budgeting, you're expecting a $200 bill, and then here, it was $400.
And when you called them, what did they offer to do for you?
I could return all those groceries, and I will tell you, at this establishment, there's a reason why I do delivery, because I don't want to step foot in it.
So it's interesting. You'll eat stuff from there, but you won't walk into it.
If I don't have to, no.
Is that the Walmarts?
It is.
I can't stand the Walmarts.
Where people sitting in the cheese there at the Walmarts.
Yeah, people sit in the cheese at the Walmart.
Yeah.
You definitely don't want to buy cheese from there.
I do though, but I just put that other part out of my head. What's on your list of one of yours?
That's not my top one, but I'll go there with you. I miss going out to eat too.
Yeah.
I'm not a real big bitch about the food, bitch about the service person. I know some people are, but that is one thing.
Are you gonna bring up my?
No, I'm gonna let you handle that segue, okay? But it's very rare that I actually have enough gumption to complain about something that's on my plate. But it really is comforting knowing that you can just tap the server on the shoulder and say, "Hey, man, would you eat this?"
Yeah.
And they can do something about it for you and take it back to the kitchen and get some spit added to it and bring it back out.
That's what I'm afraid. I've worked in the restaurant industry, and
but the problem is you can't do that with a delivery service, and none of them know what to fucking do when you call. They're like, "Well, you got to call the restaurant." I'm like, "Yeah, but bro, it was your fault. Like, if it's the delivery service's fault, it's still the restaurant's fault."
Right.
It's the restaurant's fault no matter what. And you can't, it takes too long to fix the problem by the time it's delivered to your house that it's if something gets screwed up, you're screwed. It's all or nothing.
And that happened to our dinner last night.
Oh, so what happened to your dinner last night? Tell me about it.
Okay.
This was delivered by a delivery service?
Delivered by a delivery service. Paid the up fee, my $5 more. I will say where I got my food from, just not the location. Because I think this is something that's common. It commonly happens.
Oh?
Or it's not uncommon, I should say. But I ordered a 9-ounce filet from Outback. And when you order a filet, you're expecting to get some good quality meat with very, very little fat on it, nice and lean.
Yeah.
It should be a nice tender cut. And then it's like I'm paying the extra $5 more to get, 3 more ounces of meat. And then
So what happened? They delivered it, and then what happened?
They delivered it, and then we were having dinner discussing our podcast tonight, and your filet was phenomenal. Mine, however...
Because you have the bad luck bug when it comes to food delivery.
Yes, mine is...
Yours looked like this.
Yes, it did.
And can you describe these different parts, these anatomical designations in this fillet? This is a cross section of your fillet, your actual fillet.
It was so hard to cut, and you got the veins going or whatever those things are.
These look like fucking rubber bands in the middle of your fillet.
I mean, I gave a bite to our dog, and she choked.
And this thing here, this looks like a pork belly, not a fillet.
No, that is not fillet quality. I'm sorry.
And then what's this? Is a fucking tumor? What is this thing?
Please, I don't want to think about it.
It looks pretty gross.
But, you know, like if...
You gave the dogs that fillet? You gave the dogs tumor to eat?
Not a tumor.
It's not.
But no, I did because I couldn't even... There were parts of it that, I mean, you couldn't even... I baby birded it to the dog because...
You mama baby birded it?
Yes. I couldn't even chew it up. It was not edible. And that's...
And what was the offending institution here? Let's call them out.
It was from Outback. No, I already called them. And so they were very nice on the phone. I knew the kitchen was closed. It was late at night. I'm not expecting to get a return, you know, but they easily, you know, I don't know how.
You spoke with Mamo.
Memo.
You spoke with Mamo and he hooked you up.
Well, we don't know if I got hooked up or not. I will say, if I get sent, Memo, if you listen and follow us, if you send me a bloomin' onion coupon, I'm going to be pissed because that was $28 steak.
Making a segment where we just have Jazmine call restaurants and bitch about stuff in order to get free
No,
food.
it's not about even that. I ordered from Cold Stone Creamery. Okay, the dude from the delivery service, like, you know, because you can watch their GPS.
Yeah.
And he goes into like another development and like is dropping off whatever, and then or like smoking a doobie or something, like hanging out. Like he hung out there for like it shouldn't have taken that long. So then by the time my Cold Stone ice cream gets to me, it's like a milkshake.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like I just spent $15 for a milkshake.
Yeah.
It's
I'm with you, man.
bullshit.
It is bullshit. And then what do you do about it? You have to wait then.
Well, that one, I called them on, or no, I didn't even call on that. I only called them the one time that I was missing something for my kid. But, it was like, I can't wait for the restaurants to open. The other thing I can't wait for is the gyms.
So you can send that tumor-ridden steak back to the friggin' kitchen.
I'm like you, where you're like kind of a little leery, but something like that, when you're paying for, like I'm at a prime steakhouse here, when I'm paying for quality.
Hey, I don't care if it's a filet, if it's Outback Steakhouse. I get it. It's not a prime steakhouse.
Right, but
it's a steak place.
You're paying for a filet.
Your filet's not supposed to have rubber bands in it.
Your filet should not look like that.
I wonder if that filet was ever in some guy's pants.
Oh, no, Nigel. Anyway, moving on. The other thing that I do miss, which would take the amount of fat that's on there to work off, is I miss the gyms being open.
Yeah. Yeah.
One thing I will say that's really great, and I absolutely love seeing people outside doing like regular exercise and activity and being active and out. And
yeah, you could get cabin fever in a hurry.
Thank God.
Can drive you to do some pretty crazy shit.
Thank God for my bicycle, but I do miss I miss my dancing. I miss being around the ladies or gentlemen that dance. And
well, it won't be long. We were hopeful that it won't be long.
I'm hopeful
until this bullshit fucking overreaction quarantine thing.
What were you gonna say though about?
Well, I just people
getting cabin fever.
Yeah, people get cabin fever and they just become psychologically driven to do.
Psychologically driven.
Yeah, they just get crazy ideas in their head, and before you know it, they're like teaching themselves new hobbies and buying weird fucking dresses for their dogs and stuff like that. Like, check these dogs out. I mean, these are. Can you imagine a person wearing this dress? I mean, that person would have to be like your trike friend would wear this dress. That girl that writes songs about her three-wheeler.
Yes.
Yeah, which we have to get. What's her name again?
Rainbow Bright.
Let's call her out. Do you know what she is on Instagram?
I don't think she's on Insta.
Oh, she's only on Facebook.
I say she needs a YouTube channel though.
Yeah, but
But-
she writes songs about her three-wheeler and wears dresses
Trixie
that
the Trike.
Trixie the Trike.
Yeah.
And she wears dresses that look like this.
No, but look how cute. Look at the flowers.
Yes.
And it matches, and they're smiling.
So we're looking at a picture of our dogs wearing these orange, red, yellow, blue, and white dresses that have been procured by Jasmine Star just today, as a matter of fact.
Well, I went for a bike ride, and I was picking up some lunch, and then I was like, Shiloh hasn't gotten a dress in a while. And then I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to be coming over and doing the podcast. So Hash Brown should have a dress too. And then I'm like, you know what? Hash Brown's collar could use a little girling up. And then I found this beautiful one with flowers on it, which you can't really see Hash Brown's flowers on hers. Hers is really blingy. I love it. But, yeah, Shiloh's sporting her little one there. But okay, it's a girl thing, but they look so cute.
Well, they look like they match, right? They're twins and they're not twins. They're like adopted twins.
But, they're kind of boyish looking dogs otherwise.
I don't think you should say that to them. I think that would really hurt their feelings.
I do too, but, when customers come in and see them and
they think they're boys.
yeah.
Oh, he's so handsome. Yeah, hey, fuck off. That's my dog and she's a girl and she's not handsome,
Well,
dick.
I have 4 boys, okay? So in my defense, I never got to do the girl thing before.
Yes, and so this is what happens, ladies and gentlemen.
When you've been quarantined too long.
When you've been quarantined too long and you had 4 attempts to have a kid and they all ended up being boys and this is what you do to your dogs at that point.
Well, and you have lack of options to go and like do things, and it's like, oh wait, PetSmart's open.
Yeah, there's
let me pimp my dog.
This is that's the inconsistency of this quarantine and why I'm so fucking over it, because it's utterly inconsistent the way it was enforced about what was allowed to be open and what was required to be closed and all these different things, and that's why one of the biggest things I miss about not being quarantined is actually hearing about news stories other than the fucking coronavirus.
Me too.
I'm so over it. I've been over it since I was over it before the whole quarantine started, frankly.
We both have been.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Anybody that's been listening to us knows that that's no secret, that we do touch on it and everything, but we try to just steer clear and
Yeah, we don't talk about the Rona, except tonight.
well, I mean, we have a little fun with the Rona, but I mean, it's like my Sharona, why not?
So that was my number 2. What's your number 3?
I'm going to break a little anonymity here.
Oh, be careful.
It's okay.
Careful. This could forever tarnish your reputation professionally.
No, it's okay.
She's going there, people.
I'm going there.
Jasmine Starr's actual name is
Jasmine Star. But what I do miss is I miss recovery meetings. For anybody that watches me on the show, and those that I know, we're on different platforms. So some only see audio, but anybody
we can't see audio, but they can listen to
listen to
Yeah.
it. Thank you. But anybody that does see will see that they'll never see me drinking on the show. Anything. I've got water here today. So I miss recovery. And anybody that's listening could possibly relate to that and the importance of unity and getting together and fellowship. And that's really important. And I mean, this is kind of a serious subject, but there's been a lot of people that have, yes, there have been people that relapsed, and I would be curious, and not in, I hate to say in like any kind of way, but I would really like to see the statistics on the comparison
I
of
don't know
deaths.
if there's any hard and fast way of knowing, right?
Of deaths related to relapse during this time.
Yeah.
You know, alcohol sales have gone through the freaking roof.
Yeah. Well, that's because
They
that was one of the
consider-
only things that was allowed to stay open
They
was liquor
consider it
stores.
essential business.
Yes, the packaged liquor stores, which are operated by the government.
You know, if they sold beer or wine, which, I'm not even
I know
going
you're not
there.
advocating for it.
No.
But those are the
But
ones that got shut down.
They got closed, but an actual liquor store, and it's very, very sad what's happened.
So
There's been a lot of
that's against the First Amendment. That's the freedom of assembly, right? That's protected by the First Amendment. And they came in and said, Alcoholics Anonymous can't meet, churches can't meet.
right, a lot of fellowships and things that people rely on for faith, for unity, and for fellowship.
Yeah.
That helps people save their asses.
Yep.
They haven't been allowed to do it. There have been other ways
And
to.
people want to tell other people what to do. Though. They want to go off and say, "Well, your right to fellowship isn't more important than my health." And my reaction to that is, "Fucking stay home then.
Fortunate,
You go wear your mask and stay inside your house, and you'll be safe there."
Yeah. Fortunately, there have been online platforms, and thank God for them. But it still isn't the same as being able to sit one-on-one with somebody. I mean, even a phone call. Sometimes you just need to be
Yeah.
with like-minded people. And I really, really hope that for that sake and the sake of people that are in the same position that I am, that we have a chance to meet soon.
Yeah.
So honestly, that was my third one that I brought up, but it's my number one.
My third one also has a little bit to do with fellowship, but it's of a different kind, and that's going to baseball games. I really, really miss hot peanuts and baseball and conversation at the game.
Yeah.
And
But I mean, that's also camaraderie, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really falls in the same line.
yep. And I mean, I didn't go to a major league game last year because, well, no, I did. I did go to one major league game last year at the beginning of the season. But being from Paradise, it's 150 miles either way to get to a baseball stadium, whether you go to Tampa or Miami.
But what really sucks, though, is, we're kind of like the mecca around this area for spring training.
Yeah.
And
the whole thing got shut down this year.
Nothing.
Yep.
And that had a huge economical impact as well. But
Oh, I don't even want to get started on the economics of all this whole thing.
Screw the economics and everything, but I can't. I feel you there. Like, yeah, being with people. I mean, you don't. Some people go to games by themselves, but generally you go with a buddy or family or somebody, and it's like.
Baseball is interesting too because it's one of those sports where, unlike like an NBA game or a hockey game where people are kind of standoffish. I actually had a guy try to fight me at a hockey game one time, or an NFL football game where you pretty much have to be drunk to enjoy the action. Like it's just bad news at a game like that. Like nobody. Those are the drunkest crowds, the NFL football crowds.
I agree with you, but I do like some live NFL football.
Yeah.
Like,
well, there's people in the minority who enjoy it soberly. But the point of baseball here is that you can actually sit down at a baseball game, and it's okay if you talk to the guy next to you or the guy behind you,
right?
Because talking is actually encouraged. You can talk between pitches, you can talk between innings, and it's very, very social.
Really,
the live event is way more social than the other.
The biggest
sports.
thing I think you have to worry about is if somebody's going to hit a foul ball and like keeping your eyes open that you don't get plowed by it. It's not typically, like you're saying, considered something that is would be.
But it's okay to talk. It's not like you're like in hockey. If you talk to people during the action in hockey, they get pissed at you.
Yeah.
Which
I don't know. I mean, you've traveled and been to a bunch of ballparks and everything. Like, do you see smack talk that goes on like at the
like
certain like stadiums? Is it more?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you go to, I haven't been to Yankee Stadium, but I've heard audio at Yankee Stadium where they basically tell people to fuck off and leave.
See, that's what I would think, but I think it would be like innate to the city.
And I was at the 2016 World Series in Cleveland, and I was sitting with Chicago Cub fans in the bleachers, and they were mostly assholes. And I'm like, man, this isn't even your house. Like, you guys are just dicks. Go back to Chicago.
Wow.
But it was good natured. Like, nobody dropped any F-bombs or anything like that. But yeah, it happens. And of course, at Cleveland Browns Stadium, and this is why I say my NFL football experience has everything to do with Cleveland. And they actually had a thing at Brown Stadium years and years ago called 10-cent beer night, no limit.
Oh, yeah.
You can clearly understand
like
how
a
that
recipe,
ended.
yeah.
Yes, 100,000 people in one building, 10-cent beers. It was a disaster. There was a
can only
riot and
imagine.
everything. But
Yeah.
but that's how the Cleveland Browns
Kind of like
crowd
the old.
is.
It's kind of like the old Ricochet that used to be open up in Fort Myers that used to have whatever it was like quarter draft night, and then you get a bunch of drunk line dancing rednecks together, and it's a recipe for disaster.
Rednecks and mud crickets and buckle bunnies and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I went to one Browns game where I took my daughter. I think she was 11 or 12, and she was wearing her Detroit Lions jersey because it was the Browns against the Lions. And, being from Detroit, the Lions are my number 2 team. And so while we were at the game, we sat in the dog pound, which at that time, if you wore an opposing team's jersey in the dog pound, especially the team they were playing that night,
Yeah.
they were going to do.
How old was she?
She was 11 or 12, and they're going to do the asshole chant. And that's where they go, asshole,
Yeah.
asshole. And so the entire...
And you knew this was going to happen?
I didn't think they would do it to an 11-year-old girl, but that's the tenacity of a Cleveland Browns fan right there. And if she'd been wearing a Steelers jersey, she probably would have got her head ripped off. In which case, I would have had to do something.
Did she have another shirt on? Like you couldn't
No,
have
I didn't.
saved
I didn't
it?
have her change her shirt.
The poor kid.
I'm like, hold your chin high, girl. Don't be afraid of these frickin' Clevelanders. They're just they don't mean anything by it. They just can't help it. It's like a reflex.
Reflex or not, that makes my heart sad.
Oh yeah, but it's such a good feeling when some dick comes in with a Pittsburgh Steelers jersey on and they do it to him. Then it's okay. But so that's the stuff I miss about not being quarantined. And I'm not a real dating connoisseur, but I wouldn't mind going out on a date soon. And I haven't been able to go on a date in quite a while. What about you?
The closest thing I had to a date in a while would have to be the sunset, riding my bike down to the beach. But no, I mean...
Well, Glamour Magazine thinks that there's all kinds of things you can do while in quarantine where you can maintain your social distance from your date, but still have a romantic and fulfilling experience.
I have thought about this, and just wondered what it has to be like right now in the world of dating. Like
you want to already be dating somebody before this whole thing happens, or you're screwed, right?
I mean, you could at least be quarantined together, but if you had been totally single, what do you do?
No, I don't know what you do.
I mean,
I really don't.
Glamour Magazine, though, had some ideas, though, I believe.
Yeah. Well, they think that it's a good idea for you to do a screen sharing session in which you go on a virtual tour of the Louvre and FaceTime each other on your phones while you're doing it. In your pajamas.
Yeah. How would you rate a date like that, Nigel?
0. Okay. If I'm going to tour, I mean, I like museums and things, especially museums that are, historically accurate and depict things that actually happened, like art museums.
Right.
Really enjoyable stuff.
I have no desire to virtually tour anything.
Right.
Even if I were shopping for a house.
Yeah, even a Zillow thing. It's like, come on, man.
I don't want to see the virtual tour. I'll flip through the pictures.
Okay, so we agree. That's a thumbs down on that idea.
Absolutely.
All right. What about playing dinner delivery roulette? That's where the potential partner, whom you haven't met yet, already knows plenty about you, but you'd invite them over if you could. And since you can't, you'd exchange addresses for a surprise takeout night that also helps support a local business. Ooh. But you set a time for a delivery and then schedule your favorite local dish to land on their doorstep, and they do the same for you.
I love this
And
idea.
the big payoff is that you watch them unbox and enjoy the favorite food, and it's perfect whether you're a plate sharer or not.
I love this idea.
Okay, so this would be for a first date you've never met, and you're going to go.
No, you've already been talking.
It says this potential partner already knows plenty about you.
Already knows plenty about you.
So you may or may not have met before.
No, you haven't met in person. All you've had is this online experience, and you've talked and you've gotten to know one another. So I actually like this date idea. I mean, it could be a total recipe for disaster.
It could be, because how do you know if they're like a loud chewer or a mouth breather when they eat? Like, how are you going to know that on Zoom? Like,
Well, see, and I would think I would be more concerned with like things that they don't like. You know, like if they don't like onions or mushrooms or peppers or something like that. And like I order a meal like that for them.
well, you better know that stuff. Like, you got to establish that kind of stuff before you try to surprise them with food, right?
Right. But I
You're
think
going to
it's-
love this onion guacamole
You know, I
mayonnaise
think-
parfait.
I really think that this is actually a romantic gesture, and I would like somebody to do something like that for me. I think that
So
would
that's
be
pretty
like
cool.
nice.
We agree that this one's a thumbs
That's
up.
like a treat, you
Di-
know? It's like if somebody's like, if you're at work and they're like, hey, I left a treat for you. It's exciting, you know, and it's highly romantic. I like it.
So, okay, we agree on that.
Yeah.
So, the next one is take a long walk on a virtual beach.
Let's fuck anything virtual. I'm sorry.
No one is going anywhere for the time being. That doesn't mean you can't take a virtual trip together. Using Google Maps, you can revisit a favorite place you've been, your date's old summer spot, or even give each other a tour of your childhood neighborhoods. So we're going to screen share and go on Google Maps for a date. Yeah. That's bullshit. We agree.
No.
Number 6, get sweaty.
Yes. What kind of sweaty are we
fitness
talking
trainers
about?
are live streaming their favorite workout classes to make working up a sweat at home easy peasy.
Yeah.
Gotta love the way they write these things at Glamour Magazine. Quality journalism, ladies and gentlemen and assholes. Schedule a gym date to take a class together and have a little fun getting active. For a dance-based workout that feels like a party, such and such brings endorphin-boosting virtual workouts that will make your heart race. Grab your brightest 80s. Okay, so they're talking about basically you're going to get on the same Zoom video lineup so you can see each other and then go on a service that sells workouts together, but not be in the same room.
That's correct.
This is, I'm going to vote no on this one.
I'm going to vote yes.
I mean, I'm all about the virtual workout, but doing it together, it's a hopeless failure because you're going to be out of sync the entire time. You're not going to be looking at each other. You're going to be looking at the instructor, and there's going to be no connection whatsoever. It's not a date.
No, but
This is a
afterwards.
sales pitch for online workouts.
Oh, see, and I think afterwards you'd have an opportunity where you can be like,
Oh, I'm sweating. Need some water. Oh, me too. This is so romantic. What a good date.
well, for active couples, you know, this.
Yeah, okay, maybe for an established couple. This is like online dating. Do active couples online date?
I don't know.
I don't online date my girlfriend. I just date her. I don't need to online date her because I know her already.
Well, a lot of people rely on online dating because it's hard to meet people organically.
Okay. Next dating idea for social distancing. Take a deep breath over meditation and tea.
Don't.
Couples massages and yoga studios may be off limits, but that doesn't mean you can't plan on a relaxing date. For a quick grounding exercise, you can walk through anytime together this yoga. List 5 things you see, 4 that you feel, 3 that you hear, 2 that you smell, and 1 that you taste. I'm not sure I follow this, but that's a meditation technique.
Well, yeah, but okay, aside from just
This is, again, over
It's-
Zoom, right?
no, just take away any of the advertisement there.
Yeah.
You have you're chatting with your potential soon-to-be mate. You know, you're getting to know one another, and you maybe are a little wanderlust couple, and you want to share some little Zen time together and everything. I think this is a good idea.
Okay, but
You know,
over Zoom,
no, like find a guided meditation. You know,
like a YouTube video of one.
yeah, and like it's like, and then have a nice comment. Like, typically when people meditate and when they come out of it, they're happy, they're relaxed, they're calm, and they're open because they've opened up those chakras and everything.
So their suggestion here is just meditate as a couple. That's their suggestion.
Meditate as a couple, yes,
But do it
And
long distance because you can't get together.
you can't get together, but
You have to practice social distancing.
I don't. Do I like the idea? Like, I could think of a lot of other things I would rather do, but
Let's not go into that level of detail.
we can't do that online.
So, do you like this? Do you like this meditation idea or not?
Slightly.
Okay,
I think it could potentially have some advantages.
it's a date. Okay, I'm on the dating app, and I'm like, hey man, what do you want to do? We can't get together,
Your
but
dude.
let's meditate.
Okay, I know some actually like very spiritual men
You're
that
sitting across the table from one.
enjoy meditation. And meditation is a wonderful way to open up.
Yeah, but is it a date? That's the question. Is it something you do on a date? Jasmine Starr, expert about social distancing, dating.
I'm not an expert.
All right. Well,
Have either of us gone on
the fact that we
on a
can't both
date?
the fact that we can't both like heavy-handedly endorse this thing tells me that it's not a winner
Okay.
for
it's
this
not.
particular application.
It's not, but I would like it if my man would
Would meditate sometime?
meditate and like be open.
Okay.
Be open to feelings.
You should talk to him about that. What about Netflix party and chill?
Okay, this is going down the wrong alley.
Grab your favorite pillows to create cozy tucked in vibes. Pick a movie and set up a Netflix party. This add-on enables synced video viewing and live chat so you can share each other's reactions.
Okay.
I've never heard of this before.
Number one, I hate it when I'm watching a movie and people are talking during the movie. Okay, so
I hate it when I'm trying to watch something and somebody's sitting next to me on their phone.
Like, get off your phone and don't talk.
Yes, STFU.
And I don't really care about your reaction. We can talk about your reaction after the movie's over.
There
I
is
want it-
every once in a while, like when you see a movie you've been anticipating for a long time, like in the theater.
I want it dark and quiet.
Yeah, but sometimes you have to be like, fuck, if something crazy happens.
Yeah, but you're not going to discuss it in the moment.
But you can,
know,
but you can still be like, fuck, right?
But they're live chats so you can share each other's reactions. STFU until the the movie is over because
Well, at least then you have the live chat so you can talk about it when you're done.
right. But saying Netflix party and chill, anybody knows.
When I hear that
what-
phrase, Netflix party and chill, yeah.
yeah.
That sounds to me like it's a freaking orgy.
Like, yeah, let's have a Netflix party and chill night. Like, I'm not going to cuddle up with my pillow. I'm going to be riding my pillow. and when it's talking about vibing off one another, the only thing that I can think about is like you're watching one another. You get halfway through the movie and then it turns into like this mutual masturbation kind of.
What kind of movie are we talking about here?
Oh, anything Nicholas Sparks. I don't know, but I'm just saying. I think that this is like maybe the next level up. Where you're like, babe, let's watch a movie.
Oh yeah, eyebrows bouncing. Hey,
Let's
I
watch
got
a
an
movie.
idea.
Let's watch a movie.
I'm not after anything.
What's your favorite category? What genre would you like to watch tonight?
Action adventure.
Action and adventure.
No, that's not the kind of genre I was talking about. I was talking about.
Oh, geez.
But
Do we have
anyway.
any other dates up here?
No, that's everything.
Getting deep.
So there were definitely some good examples in there of what to do and how to, I guess, have socially distant dates, which to me they all sound like a big disappointment. But you, I think, recently had an opportunity to speak with
Okay.
a friend of ours, and I use that term loosely.
All right. So, yes, you told me that you made a connection for me with your friend TJ Wall.
He's my brother.
He was your brother.
He still is my brother.
No, I know that.
He's
but
been my brother ever since he was born. He's my
Yeah,
little
but
brother.
You didn't tell me. You didn't fill me in or prep me on any of this.
Okay, well, I wasn't trying to give you a tainted and unobjective.
Right.
You
right.
gotta go Barbara Walters on his ass and make him sweat a little bit.
Well, I mean, I would if any friend of yours, I'm not going to be like totally like, but anyway, it's like family is, but
well, that's
anyway,
why I'm
so
not
yes.
interviewing him. That's why you're interviewing him.
So you had me do an interview with your brother, TJ Wall.
Yeah.
Nigel's brother, TJ, wrote a book called Fail Safe for those of you that are watching us via YouTube. This is what the book looks like here. Fail Safe, novel by TJ Wall.
What'd you think of him? You never met him before, so.
I've never met him, and I mean, I only have gotten to see a photo. I mean, I definitely see the family resemblance.
Who's better looking?
Even though I have a past history of going for younger men, and he is younger.
He's not that much younger. I think you're a year younger than me.
Well,
He can't be that much younger than you.
he's a few years younger than me, I think.
All right.
He
You had every opportunity to ask him how old he is.
I'm not going to flirt with your brother. Anyway, moving on. What about the Florida women? What's going on with Florida women?
Well, I think there's one Florida woman in particular that really seems to have a issue. She's got a temper.
Of course.
I am going to pull this video up so that our viewers on YouTube can see this woman, and I'll crank the audio so that our listeners can hear. This is what she did.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so for those of you that can't see this and are listening, this woman is going totally berserk. Oh wow, on this SUV, she's kicking it. Come on, this is on TikTok too? 1.4 million likes? What? Wow.
What in the world could make somebody get that pissed? That's what I want to know.
Does it say anything else? Or is it just the video?
Well, what it says is, Florida man, meet Florida woman.
Of course.
She's just as rambunctious as you, and sometimes, especially when cars get in her way, like this poor sap in Miami just did.
It's Miami.
Check out this wild video that's making the rounds on TikTok, which shows a lady crossing the street at a light, rightly using the crosswalk, and then losing her shit on a car that crossed the line, literally, into her walking space. It happens all the time, but never like this. The woman absolutely freaks out, berating the driver for getting in her way, and then she proceeds to start pummeling his car with kicks and physical blows. At one point, it looks like the guy in the vehicle tries getting out while telling her to relax, but she wasn't going to let that happen either. She slams his door multiple times before finally walking away. But the meltdown isn't over there. Once she's on the other side, she starts screaming at the car from a distance and throws an epic tantrum on the curb.
This is what happens when you've been locked up in a house for too many days.
She got that quarantine. She got that Rona cabin fever.
Yes.
Seems like she might have been having a bad day, or maybe it was just the Rona effect kicking into overdrive.
There we go.
We know people have been acting a little squirrely lately by being under quarantine and whatnot, but this takes it to another level. So that's on TMZ. I'm walking here.
I like TMZ, but
yeah, I don't. They must have paid a little bit to get the rights to rerun this video.
Yeah.
But what do you think? You know, how did her day start? She's got a fanny pack too. And look at this. This is like a serious kung fu kick that she's got going.
I know. What
It had
kind of
to hurt her
shoes is
foot.
she wearing?
They don't look like they have steel toes.
No.
She probably hurt herself.
Maybe that's why she really lost it though. Like when she hit that sidewalk,
Yeah.
that scream and everything.
Yeah, that was blood curdling. And look, she's got nursing home ophthalmologist glasses on.
I was just thinking that. Maybe that's why.
Maybe
because she was surprised. She just left. No, because they're all telehealth right now. You can't go see your ophthalmologist.
Well, I mean, unless it was an emergency, you know.
Heaven forbid you have your eyes dilated and you're walking home in Miami and you cross the crosswalk and you bump
All of
into
a
a
sudden
car
there's a
that's
car.
in the middle of your...
Yeah.
Yeah, all you know how to do is just react and scream.
Well, I'm all about getting after asshole drivers. You know that. I almost gave a driver a piece of my mind on my bike ride last night, but decided not to.
Really?
Yeah, my riding partner she's a little more mellow than me, and I didn't want to embarrass her. So I didn't. But this woman clearly is out of bounds. I get that the dude is in the crosswalk, but there's enough room in front of and behind his car to just walk around it. Like, just walk around it.
I mean, if he almost hit her, you know, I could understand being like a little upset and like maybe like, you know,
Yeah.
like saying a little nasty little quip.
I wonder
thing
if
to
he
him,
said
but
something back to her at first.
that
You know how like
prompted
set her
the-
off, like maybe
prompted-
he called her
Yeah.
something.
You know, like if she's like, "Hey, I'm walking here,"
Oh,
and then he's like, "F you, bitch," and then you know, and then she
maybe
just
he said something about her glasses. Look, she looks like she's from the Matrix with those glasses. Like,
I mean, but I have to say, considering the gyms being closed and everything, I'd say she's got some pretty good form. She might take some kickboxing classes.
she might. Oh, but then she get that wimpy screen at the end where she just, and then they called it an epic tantrum, as if a tantrum could ever be epic.
No, what would be even better though for this would be like right after she screams, if she just like a toddler,
Stomps her foot.
no, like drop down to the ground and does like like right on the sidewalk,
The
does
convulsing kicking thing.
does like the dead limp thing.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's like when you have to like drag your kids off,
Yeah.
and it's like the most aggravating.
Oh, yeah, and they
pissed
have a
off
way of making sure that it's fucking impossible
It's
for
like-
you to pick them up. Like,
It's
all
like,
of us.
how did my kid quadruple their weight?
Yeah. I know it's dead weight, and except it's like the consistency of one giant spaghetti noodle, and it won't stay in your arms. Yeah.
You know,
And
that
if you
would have
manage to
made
get it up over waist level, it starts kicking you in the side of the head and stuff.
I know. So then you have to drop it down lower, and then you lose it again, and then they get the spaghetti legs again. Now that would have.
And then you just drop them, and they fall on their ass and get real mad.
Oh yeah, and then you really get like that.
And then somebody walks up to you and accuses you of beating your children.
Well,
That's how that works.
that's why I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I hope
but,
she mellowed
yeah.
out after that, after she became a superstar on TikTok, like after she made $1 million for whoever took that
No,
video.
she didn't. You know that this poor woman is probably sitting at home going, "FML, man. Somebody captured this.
Somebody
and
took
is
advantage of my
making,
epic
like,
tantrum.
and is making, like, TMZ picked it up. They're making the money on it and everything. You know that this is going to show up in some meme somewhere. And yeah, she's out the money. It's the TikToker. Welcome to the millennials.
Welcome to the millennials
And the
TikTok. She
Gen
looks like she
Xers.
probably is a millennial. I don't see any
No
gray hair
way,
on that
man.
head.
She looks old to me.
Really?
Yeah.
You think that she went off like maybe she's having like
She was
hot
having-
flashes or something.
Or hot flashes? What?
Maybe she was sitting in the cheese at the Walmart before.
No, because she would be so much more chill if that were the
That's
case.
true. You can't help but be chill after you've been sitting in the cheese.
Maybe she just had a really bad pajama date at the Louvre.
Yeah, virtual tour. All right. Well, maybe we should urge all of our listeners and watchers to maybe just pray for this lady and hope that she
I do hope
has
so.
a peaceful day and a peaceful week coming up. And so
Yeah.
she can stay out of trouble, which is what we hope that all of our listeners and watchers do.
Absolutely.
Couple of quick shout outs at Precious Frito 3. Thank you for following us.
Boom, boom.
At Precious Frito 3. Everybody follow him, and that's Frito, Freedo 3.
Yes. Yeah, he's a fan, and we appreciate him.
And of course, we will be hopefully getting some more interesting guests soon. We're working on it.
Yes, we are.
But nothing firm yet. We've got a comedian on the hook. We've got a TV personality
We've got,
on the hook.
like, some great shenanigans with our comedian.
Some shenanigans.
Some shenanigans.
Maybe some
yes.
he-nanigans as well.
If you guys listening want to get a little taste of her, you can. Her handle on Instagram is at Stacy Steele 13. That's STACEY STEELE 13
Instagram.
On Instagram,
And
she's
she
got
has
some
a
good-
hedgehog.
and she does. She has a hedgehog, and
she sells merch featuring her hedgehog.
I love her merch.
Yes.
You can touch my hedgehog.
If she can make money selling merch that says "You can touch my hedgehog" or "Would you like to touch my hedgehog?"
Yes.
then we can have a successful podcast. And on that note, we wish you all the greatest amount of success, everybody. From Jazmine, Nigel, our friend
Thank you to TJ.
and everybody else here at Trouble in Paradise. Stay out of trouble. How do you
Good
turn this
night.
thing off?